Hello, hello, everyone. Good morning. So we are live. We are live. There will be, for those of you catching the replay, timestamps in the comments section once this is done recording so that you could fast forward through this intro, hop, skip, and jump around wherever you feel guided to go once it's done. All right. I will say this. I hope y'all enjoyed the moon event yesterday. I am going to miss the secret code name readings. If you guys still want to get a personal moon reading while I'm offering them for 2023, you can book any and all of the full or new moons in advance via my Etsy shop. All right, that link's in the description. And if you want cool merch like the hoodie I'm wearing or like my Never Afraid to Cut a Bitch Cancer mug, you could check out my Teespring shop. Okay, that link is in the description as well. And we're going to get into these messages because I was sitting here and I was reorganizing all of my cards because I have so many. And in addition to all of these, I have a whole nother rack on my table, and I have more next to me over here. So, I'm probably going to end up ordering a whole nother rack, to be fair. But I was reorganizing things, and because I really hate having to move boxes to get to boxes. So I wanted it to be easy. I could just grab whatever box I want without moving a bunch of stuff. So I've got a whole new, good morning, Tanya. Oh, we're having coffee with Tanya. We're having coffee with Tanya. Good morning. Yeah, I was reorganizing. And so I'm sitting here and I picked up my dice and rolled my dice. And I got Scorpio, Neptune, and 4, which is the 4th house. And I was like, that's all the water signs. That is all the water signs. Scorpio, Neptune is Pisces, and 4th house is Cancer. So I was like, what are the odds that I would be sitting here fucking off and just roll all 4 water? I mean, it's a 12-sided die, so it's 12 times 12 times 12. I was like, I'm going to just take that as a sign I probably need to go live and someone needs a message. So if you got really strong water in your chart, this is for you. I mean, obviously Tanya showed up. Yes. So, and I'm a Cancer moon and rising, and I've got loads of Scorpio in my chart. I'm a Pisces midhaven. So, Tanya, I could be live just for you. But we're going to find out and get some more details because I've got Pineapple Charming here. For y'all that watched Pineapple Charming debut yesterday for the moon event. Although, to be fair, my Divine Rebel members got the first sneak peek at Pineapple Charming. So we're going to see. Now, I'm going to pull charms out of here. Okay. How this is going to work is if the message is for you, you will know it is for you. Okay. However, some messages are more important for some people, and sometimes the messages are not the easiest to receive. People are likely to click off, or they're not seeing it right. So the charms are a chance for spirit to kind of slap you in the face and say, hey, pay attention. All right. If a charm doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. It could still be a message. Just remember, sometimes spirit really, really, really needs to get through to some people. And so the charms help not only them identify that the message is for them, but what it's about, because sometimes the charms will indicate a person giving the message that's either still here or passed away, right? Sometimes messages come through from other people. Sometimes they prompt certain memories, and everything and anything that comes out of my mouth once I start pulling charms could be a synchronicity. All right. I specifically have a charm in here that I know talks about, adopt, don't shop. And it's about going to, animal shelters and adopting animals from shelters. But if I say the word shelter might be a prompt for you. Okay. So please, once I start pulling the charms, everything and anything that comes out of my mouth may matter to you if you catch this message in divine time. All right. And I will have the charm pulling, the Pineapple Charming timestamped as well. All right, I will have that timestamped. So, you know, and you could have a tattoo of one of these things. Like, it could prompt a memory that you have to, you know, reflect on at this time, especially with all the fucking retrogrades that are hitting. So, you know, please be really open, take them as they resonate for you. And if something I say or pull matters, then pay the fuck attention. Okay. And if not, then you're good. Then resonate and take what you need to take from it, and just know spirit's like, it's not a fucking emergency. Just keep going on your path. Keep taking the messages as they come. Like, congratulations, you don't need a bitch slap. All right, you don't need a spiritual bitch slap. And if you really would like a charm inside the pineapple, or something that is specific just for you, that, you know, as a viewer of my channel, if I were to pull that charm, it is 100% yours. You can shoot me an email. My email is in the description. I will send you a PO box address, and you can mail your charm as long as it is an inch or smaller to me, and I will put it inside the pineapple. Okay. This way, for whatever reason, I pull your charm, there is no second guessing. The message is for you. Okay. And messages may come out from the charms just in general, outside of synchronicities. So I might get a complete fucking message off the charms without even pulling cards. Hey, Shaylee, how you doing? So we are going to pull some messages and see what comes out. And then I'm going to, charms, and then I'm going to pull some cards. So spirit, please, pineapple charming. What do we need today? Who needs what? All right, let's see here. You could have, I think these are corgis. You could have a doggy. I've got a sewing machine. So maybe you have, you know, like someone who used to sew in your family. We've also got the sunshine nestled in the clouds. So this is one of my mood charms, and you might be happily reclusive right now. Okay. Happily reclusive. I've also got, my little witchy charm. You might consider yourself a witch or be into the magic of all that stuff. I've also got the Australian flag. All right. So you may be located in Australia right now, or originally from there. I've also got a Starbucks frap. So, you know, if it's your thing, or you're literally drinking one right now as you're having coffee with me and Tanya, then yeah, that might be for you. I've also got the four of clubs. These cards are so tiny. I was making them last night, and they're really cool. Like, they're the size of my thumbnail. They're so tiny. But I bought 2 sets, and I glued them back to back so that they were a little bit firmer and would hold up inside the pineapple. So that I was literally gluing like 52 cards last night. So the 4 of clubs is like the 4 of wands. Okay. So for Dunkin' Donuts, I got a Dunkin' Donuts charm in here too. Okay. Starbucks ain't the only coffee in here. I've even got boba in here, right? For people who freaking love bobas. So 4 of wands energy, 4 of clubs energy is about choosing spiritual stability within the self. Happiness, joy is a choice that we make. Gratitude is a choice that we make. Okay. The minor arcana are choices. So this is a choice. You may have been having this conversation with yourself recently, or been in the midst of making this decision to really choose your own happiness and your own stability within the self, and not allowing other people to disturb your peace. And then we've got a bunch of letters here. Now, the letters that I have in here, I've got blue, I've got pink, I've got white, and I've got black. Okay, so white and black, they could be anybody, any word. I picked the pink ones because I wanted them to resonate as feminine or as female, whatever you identify as, if it leans on the feminine side. And I've got blue ones that lean masculine or male, or if you identify to something closer to male. Okay, and then white and black or anything. So the pink ones that I've got here are C, W, S, and M and N as in Nancy. All right. And then I've got C, B twice, and K for the blue. And then I've got an A for the white. So it could be either or. Okay. And then as far as signs go, I've got Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, all 4 air signs. All 4 air signs. All 3 air signs. Where's my coffee? I've been studying astrology for fucking over 20 years. I'm like, all 4 air signs. I'm dead right now. So that's crazy. We pulled out all 3 water signs on the Astro Dice, which is what prompted me to do this live to begin with. And I just pulled out all 3 air signs. All right. So any of these could hold significance for you as of right now, right? Oh, cool. It's always nice to have initials come out because then, you know, Spirit's like, hey, you know, there's something really important in this message I need you to take away from it, right? And it's nice to know, right? It's nice to have that confirmation, which is why I was so freaking excited for Pineapple Charming, right? So again, we've got the Starbucks Frap. This looks like it has caramel drizzled on top. So if that's your thing. And your mom's initials, yeah. And like I said, the Australian flag. Our little Miss Witch right here. She's so adorable. I'm so mad my camera is not wanting to zoom for her. Isn't she so cute? She's so cute. And then I've got the sewing machine. I know my grandmother used to sew. I've got Happily Reclusive Mood Cloud. And I believe this is a corgi. If it's not a corgi, then let me know. I'll call him Georgie Porgy, the corgi. Yep. And the four of clubs. Okay. And then, of course, all of our letters. CWSN, pink. CBBK, blue. A, white, and then air signs. Alrighty. Pineapple Charming. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much for those of you who needed the confirmation. Don't forget to drop a like, guys. And leave comments like Tanya and Shaylee because I love conversing with y'all. Yeah, my grandmom's was what are they called? A seamstress for a lot of years. And after she had retired, she was making a lot of different things for the churches to donate, like clothing and things like that. And she sewed all the way up until she passed away. So it always reminds me personally of my grandmother. So we're going to see what kind of message comes out. Spirit, please. Where are we going today? Okay. Mythic Tarot. We're going to start there. I feel like we're getting a duality message about to happen. Saturn. Oh, Shelly. Saturn's been trining on my ascendant, and it's retrograde or it's going retrograde. Really want to talk about water signs right now and air signs. Let me pull up my current transits. Yeah, Saturn's retrograding now. So depending on what house it's in, Saturn in Pisces is going to be having you go over the different things that you've obligated yourself to or how you have restricted yourself. Is going to give you this sense of needing to break free in the arena or the house in which Saturn rules for you. in order to make progress. It could also be significant to wherever Pisces rules for you. Like I'm a Pisces midhaven right now. Saturn's in my 9th house. Yeah, it's in my 9th. It's in your 7th house. Yeah. So you're probably going over a whole lot of partnership stuff and different relationship dynamics that you've had in general, right? Not just romantically, but it all comes down to how you relate to yourself, because when you're in your rising, right, how the chart works, 1st house and 7th house are polar houses. When you are in the light of your 1st house, you project as your 7th house. Okay. So for example, I'm a Cancer rising. So when I'm truly loving and nurturing myself, I am the CEO of my life. I'm making money. I'm the breadwinner. Like that's my Capricorn 7th house. So when I'm in my 1st house light, I'm projecting out my 7th house light. So you'll know, right? You'll know if you are in your light with yourself, like if you're a Virgo rising, right? Virgo rising is meticulous. It is taking every step with the self, not skipping any steps when it comes to what you need and what you want to get done for you, whatever makes you feel good. And you'll notice that when you project as a partner, you're kind of divinely timed with everyone and everything, even if you don't realize it, right? Like how I was talking about last night in the different moon event messages that were coming through with the secret code names. Like you end up just naturally pinging other people off, right? Because a Pisces 7th house is really divinely connected in the projection. So when you're aligned with your own highest good and you're not skipping anything, right, for yourself, then everything coming through you as a partner to yourself is going to be divinely aligned, and you're functioning in the highest good of all, whether people realize it or not, love you for it or hate you for it. You know what I mean? So all of the things going on with Saturn right now, like you're going to be really learning, because Saturn is Capricorn. It's Capricorn's planet. Really learning what you want to invest in, right? Especially in relationships. What do you want to invest in? Is it worth the investment? Is it worth the risk? Because if you think of a CEO, right? Capricorn is CEO territory. This is Saturn. If you think about yourself as the CEO of a relationship, is this person worth investing in? Do they show up on time? Are they there when you need them? You know, are they willing to put in the overtime if need be? Do they appreciate it when you give them time off? You know, like what does this person bring to the quote unquote relationship that's valuable? And are they worth investing in? Are they worth promoting? Are they worth hiring to begin with? Do you need to fire their ass because they looked great on their resume, great on paper, and then you got them in the workplace, in the relationship, and they just crapped out, and you're like, this is not who I thought you were, and you're fired. You know, it's like having that mentality, right? And being in divine alignment, doing that, because it's in Pisces, right? It's in Pisces. So I'll timestamp the little side rant so you can go back and re-listen in hindsight. But we're going to get into these cards, the Mythic Tarot. So yeah, I have faith that was probably helpful. Yeah. You will know what's in your highest good. If it's all opposing your moon and stuff, your moon and rising, like your emotions are going to get triggered when you're not doing what's in your highest alignment. You know what I mean? I know. I love astrology too. I love it too. I appreciate you showing up in the chat. It helps other people, you know what I mean? Because God knows there's probably other Virgo risings out here and Pisces 7th housers and people dealing with Saturn. So I mean, it all comes through in divine time for whoever needs that info, you know? So appreciate you. Yeah, that's awesome. I love astrology. It was something I was drawn to back when I was 16. And I've been self-taught ever since. So fast forward 21 years later, I love astrology. I'm a forever student. Speaking of astrology, if you want to get some really cool insights, I love watching Robert Phoenix, 11th House Astrology. He's great. I watch his, I love his Sunday Astro Live. It's great, Sunday night. So he also does like a Friday Forecast, which is not astrology related per se, but he incorporates little bits of it, and he does the astro weather almost every day, unless he's got stuff going on. My favorite learning resource. Oh gosh. Well, my most appreciated one was probably the first astrology book I ever bought. And it was literally called The Only Astrology Book You'll Ever Need. And it was by Joanne Woolfolk. That really sparked it for me. But I've bought a significant amount of books since then, and researching Greek mythology, because there's no such thing as coincidences. So if you look up Greek myths, Roman mythology, and the different stories that are linked to the planets, quite literally, those are archetypal energies, right? So you will learn a ton about the planets and the facets that they give off in a natal chart just by learning Greek mythology. So if you're not necessarily wanting to sit there and read about what a trine is or what a sextile is right away, and all you need to know is it's beneficial, and you really want to get into like the grit of what these different things represent, then you could totally just start reading up on Greek mythology. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. You have that one? Yeah, it's a great book. All right. I'm over here being all chatty. Let's get cards, Spirit. Let's get cards. All right. We've got the 9 of Pentacles and the 5 of Swords. Give me clarifiers for the Knight of Pentacles. Give me clarifiers for the Knight of Pentacles. Let's see. Clarifiers for the Knight of Pentacles. The Sun. And give me one clarity for the 5 of Swords. All right, 2. We got the Chariot and the 7 of Swords. Okay, so Venus is if it's not already, going to be retrograding in Leo. Okay. It's not retrograding yet. Let me see. It goes in about 2 weeks from now. 2.5 weeks from now. So, and that's immediately what I thought of. Venus is going to be retrograding. Venus retrograde is interesting. Okay. And for those of you catching this in divine time at some later date, then please understand this about Venus retrograde. Those of you getting a heads up, like, kudos to you for tuning in and getting the notification, right? When Venus retrogrades, Venus revolves around the elements of attraction and what we have to be grateful for, right? The things and the people in our life. And when Venus retrogrades, we start seeing things differently. Like, people might look at you and they might have been attracted to you for the longest time. Then all of a sudden Venus goes retrograde in one of their houses and they're looking at you like, why was I ever attracted to you? And vice versa. You might be looking at somebody that you've been with for a long time and literally just start thinking to you, well, like, why am I with this person? You know what I mean? Like, depending on where it's falling in your house. In your chart, right? It could be you redefining what a job means to you. It could be you going through your closet and getting rid of old energy, right? Things you haven't worn in forever, or, you know, just old you. Like, it could be getting rid of certain things, right? Because Venus, it's ruled by Taurus and Libra. Okay. It's ruled by Taurus and Libra. So we're going over stuff and we're going over relationships. And it depends on what house it's falling in for you, whatever house Leo rules. Okay. If this is about the self, like if we're doing 12th house Leo, right, which is a mysterious house, it's what are you afraid of? What beliefs have you fallen in love with? Have you coveted that need to be reevaluated? What new belief system can you fall in love with? Right? So we're going over a lot of things, like, how does your job value you, right? If we're talking about Venus retrograding in your 10th house, right? If you're a Leo 10th houser, right? You've got Venus retrograding through your 10th house. You're like, does my job value me? Can I find a job or be appreciated at a different job that values me, right? What is my value to this company? Am I best serving them? Is my value best suited elsewhere, right? You could go into a complete flip-flop. You could go from working for someone else, right, to working for yourself, depending on what it is you love to do and where you want to invest, right? Renegotiating or attributing where you're spending your time and money, right? Anarchy will be your new love. Yeah, so I mean, this energy coming out, the Knight of Pentacles with the Sun, is about slowly moving towards something very authentic with this Leo energy. All right, and it does require us to go back over certain things and kind of tweak it, like, okay, this is what I thought I wanted. This is what I've been communicating, right? Especially if you've got like Venus in the 3rd house or Venus Leo in the 3rd house. Rethinking about things you've said, you know, when you were in a loving vibration, and really need to kind of double back on things that you said. Like, maybe you're like, oh my God, I love you, I will always be there for you. And now you're thinking about what you said and you're like, I might have to renege on what I said. Like, you know, like, it's just one of those things. It's also like, maybe realizing all the things you could have, should have, would have said when you had the time, right? When you had the chance, and now that time has passed, right? Or it seemingly has passed. And you're thinking about all the things you could have, should have, would have said, in gratitude or appreciation and hindsight, right? And maybe giving yourself the opportunity to come clean on those communications. Like, if you owe someone a gratitude, or if you owe someone kind words, or beautiful words that weren't spoken, like Venus retrograding in your 3rd house would be a beautiful time to do that, right? It's a beautiful time to get things out that were left unsaid that, you know, would be really appreciated. So this is a slow development with the Knight of Pentacles, but it's a sweet one, especially because we have the different, if you look really close at this card, there's bee houses back there. There's beehives back there, like a beekeeper's hive. There's 2 of them back there. And then, of course, we got the suns, which is sweet in and of itself. So I think this is a great time to reflect on how you can perfect past mistakes that you've made surrounding love and gratitude for life and time spent wherever you had previously spent it, right? So that you can move forward in a better energy, especially if your heart space in hindsight feels like you've moved forward and essentially robbed yourself with conflict, right? The 5 of Swords is arguments. It's not really loving words that come through, right? And maybe you have to tap into your own Cancerian energy, right? With this Cancer season as of current, or your own natal Cancer energy, and really really think about how your words, when they don't come out kind, or kindness is not the intention behind your words, and you're letting your emotions or your mind run away with you, that things don't come out right, and it actually hurts people. You know, our words, our actions, our behavior, people don't forget. Sometimes it's really hard to recover from certain things that are said, you know, and we have to try and find understanding for other people who are receiving those words, and maybe help others understand why what they said affected your heart space the way that it did. Because, you know, you might just be saying it because you're angry, or you might be saying it just because you're intoxicated. You're like, oh, well, I didn't mean it. I was just angry. I didn't mean what I said because I was just drunk or whatever. And it's like, but you have to take ownership for the fact that when you pop off just because you're angry and you stop caring about how your words affect people, you can't take back what you said. Maybe you shouldn't be popping off when you're angry. Maybe you should walk away and rethink about what it is that you really are feeling before you start popping off, right? Maybe you shouldn't be drinking. Maybe you shouldn't be getting intoxicated with whatever you're doing, that you're saying things you don't mean and hurting the people that love you in your life, right? This is about reevaluating what is important and what you're truly grateful for, who you're truly grateful for, okay? Because for everything that you have, nothing's permanent if you push it out. And that includes people. So this is about realizing that your inner child wounds may have robbed you. Okay. Your inner child wounds may have robbed you by saying things that could have been said or done better. And we have the Hermit on the bottom. So Virgoian energy. And the 5 of Cups on top. It's like, yeah, wait, don't leave me, right? Don't leave me alone. Don't leave me by myself in my dark night. I don't want to look at the things that pushed you away, right? The behaviors that pushed you away. This is going to be really significant for people that also have Virgo Pisces nodes. Okay. Or if you have different Virgo Pisces placements. Because this is about, especially like if you're like Shaylee, 1st, 7th house polarity, how not being there for your own self is ultimately what pushed away certain people. And a great example, I'll give an example, right? Not from Shaylee's life, okay, everybody, but just in general. If, let's just say your partner, right? Let's just say your partner is really attracted to you because you make your own money, because you're business oriented, because you have yourself together, you're constantly, you know, having your hair done and you take good care of yourself. And then all of a sudden you're in a relationship with them and now you're codependent on them financially. You're not working as much, or you decide to quit your job. You're at home, you're not doing your hair anymore, and you're a completely different person. Like, you're no longer what they were attracted to. You're not in your light, right? The way that they were attracted to you in your light to begin with. And so it's almost like, you know, you being in your dark space, please don't leave me. I'm still me. And they're like, you are, but you aren't. You know what I mean? You are, but you aren't. Yeah. Mercury and Aries. Yeah. Yeah. Mercury and Aries is the kind of person that will finish the fight, even if they have to take it too far, right? Mercury and Aries will get the last word because Aries is very competitive, and they want to be the one that makes the final gotcha point. And sometimes they'll take it too far, impulsively, right? They'll need to learn to consciously hold themselves in, or hold back on that. To keep from leaving someone feeling defeated, because Aries is, like I said, the competitor. But yeah, this is like love left, because in this picture, it's Psyche in mythology, right? And it's Psyche who woke up and turned the lamp on so that she could see Eros. Because if you think about the Greek mythology with Eros and Psyche, Eros had fallen in love with Psyche. But being a primordial god, he didn't want her to see him. And he committed himself to her and would stay with her so long as she agreed to never look at him. But she loved him so much, she wanted to lay eyes on the beautiful person that was her forever person, right? Eros put Psyche on the pedestal. And that she wanted to see him and woke up in the middle of the night to watch him while he slept. He woke up and saw her looking at him and was so upset because she broke the promise, right? And she instantly regretted losing Eros because of what she did, right? She broke a promise. And we're talking very much 12th house stuff, right? We're in the nighttime, we're in the psyche of things, right? This is very 12th house. Piscean energy. And it's like, how did your psyche, the needs that go on inside your psyche, push love away because you didn't hold up a promise you made in soul, right? Because psyche is the soul. How did you push love away because you didn't hold up to a soul promise that you made yourself, right? And so that's what this is about. How did you end up alone? And it's because there was a soul promise that wasn't kept between you and yourself, deep inside your psyche. There's something that you didn't heal, which is why we go on the hermit journey in order to heal it, right? And again, we have this Leo energy underneath with the Queen of Wands. So let's get more specific. Yeah, I love Greek mythology. All right, let me get some more insight into this Knight of Pentacles, Sun energy. Let me get some more insight into that, please. Page of Coin. Seizing the opportunity. All right, planting a seed, seizing the opportunity to plant a seed. Even if things don't necessarily go the way you anticipate. Planting an energetic seed is powerful because it grows in divine time, and you never know how beautiful or beneficial that's going to be. Like how we were talking about going back and saying things kindly, or even offering apology, like seizing this chance in a couple weeks, right, with Venus going retrograde, to make right on miscommunications that came out incorrectly or wrong altogether. It starts to mend things, and it might be a slow recovery, but it's still a mending, and it's important, right? It's important to not leave wounds on other people that we inflicted if we can be consciously aware of it and help it, right? What else with this? The Eight of Swords. Give me one more in clarities, please. The Nine of Swords. All right, clarifications. The Devil, Capricorn energy. Page of Wands. Give me one more. This is uncertainty. Because it's almost like you're embarrassed or have anxiety about how this person would even receive you, especially if you were cutting or out of line with your words. Because we got the Devil clarifying the Page of Coins, which means feeling restricted, right? Feeling the need to be punished by not correcting your own mistake, because ultimately other people will heal whether you do or don't apologize or offer a kind word or go back and say, hey, when I was this person, then I said some things or did some things that in hindsight I should have never have done. Like, you were this for me and that for me, and I wasn't thinking about that at the time, and I'm sorry. Like, if you don't correct those things, that person will eventually heal on their own. But it's unfortunate that when we talk about that weighing of the soul on a scale at the end of this life, like, those kinds of things are going to make your soul heavy, right? The devil energy will make your soul heavy. So if you have regrets, things you wish you could have, should have, would have done better, that ultimately falls on you. Like, you should probably go forward with whatever you need to go forward with, correcting, if anything, so that you can grow. Otherwise, that's going to sit in your psyche and push love away, right? It's going to push love away. The Eight of Swords, clarified by the Page of Wands, is having a really hard time mentally getting over the hurdle and the idea of reinventing yourself, being new. Maybe you've never gone back and apologized to someone in your life, right? Maybe that's you. Like, some people will never fucking say they're sorry. Like, my sister's one of them. Not once. My youngest sister, not once have I ever heard her say, I'm sorry to anybody. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Never. And so sometimes you just need to be like, you know what? It's not that my reaction wasn't valid. The way I felt wasn't valid, but how I reacted, how I let my feelings react was uncalled for. Right? I could have done that differently. The Nine of Swords with the Queen of Swords reversed, clarifying. Queen of Swords reversed is a cut-a-bitch card. And this is having major anxiety and or nightmares, daymares, whatever you want to call them, right? Really high anxiety over realizing you were this person, that the words coming out of your mouth were not considerate, right? They were not considerate. The Queen of Swords in reverse does not care about your feelings. Okay. Doesn't care about your feelings. And it's interesting. Where is that card? Because I literally opened up the deck. Which one was it? This one? No, it was this one. It was a deck of my own creation because I was going through my bags when I was organizing. And this was the card that I was pulled. And there's no such thing as coincidences, right? I haven't touched that bag in months, damn near a year. And this was the only card I looked at in it because it was on top. Okay, there's a feminine and a masculine side, but the energy is the gist is the same, right? It says lusting or longing for sex, love, money, power, status, or title, wanting something, right? Longing for something, wanting it all now and needing to slow down. What about what everyone else wants or needs? It's an ego trip, right? A prime example would be wanting to be someone's girlfriend or boyfriend and they're not ready for it. Wanting to get engaged and they're not ready for it. Wanting to finally go get married and they're not ready for it, right? Title. Wanting that promotion and it's not there for you right now, right? Wanting the raise and it's not available for you right now. It's not because you don't deserve it, right? Maybe you're in the wrong job. Maybe your job doesn't have the financial availability to give you a raise right now. Maybe they're financially crunched. They want to give you a raise, but they literally can't. Financial department said we can't afford giving them a raise, right? So it's wanting something and wanting it now and not considering what other people's wants or needs are. It says, when your ego is out of control and trying to prove its strength, you hurt the people it's convinced itself you don't care about, or that you've convinced yourself don't care about you. Don't lie to yourself to get your ego stroked. Regret. Right? When we start pushing things on people, we're learning what emotionally balanced and healthy dynamics look and feel like. Maybe we didn't have an example of what a healthy dynamic looks like. I know my parents didn't give me a healthy example. You know what I mean? I'm still learning what that looks like. I'm learning what that looks like inside my own mind, because I'm like, wow, if I had a healthy relationship, this wouldn't be happening. I wouldn't be talking to this person that way. They wouldn't be talking to me that way. I wouldn't be feeling or thinking about doing these things. They wouldn't be thinking or doing those things either. Like, if it's healthy, why are we thinking that or doing that? Right? And so you start to analyze, which is great with Virgoian energy. You start to analyze the details of things, because Virgoian energy is meticulous, right? We're talking the Hermit card here. Virgoian energy is meticulous. It is no stone left unturned. No stone left unturned. The perfection of the soul, right? If we're talking Virgo and Pisces, Virgo is perfection and Pisces is the soul. If we're talking about the polarity of the perfection of the soul, you absolutely should go back, must go back and correct things that you did from a very spiritually ignorant place. I will give an example, because you can't feel weird, right? You can't be trapped in your head and worry about how someone's going to receive it. Back when I was in 8th grade, me and my sister, right? She was in 7th grade. I was in 8th grade. And she decided that when we went to this new school, she was going to reinvent herself and that she was going to be Gothic. Well, that got her a whole lot of unwanted attention, particularly from this one girl who teased her all the time, bullied her all the time. And me, being big sister, didn't fucking like that she was bullying my sister, and started bullying her back. Like, oh, you want to say shit to my sister? Oh, they were calling her flat chested and all kinds of shit. So I started going to the girl, you're a bra stuffer, and just started going after her, right? She would be walking down the halls and I'd be calling her stuffer. Like, no joke. I was bullying her because she was bullying my sister. And even though it was validated in my mind at the time, 13 years later, I was like, that's not who I am. I know what it's like to be bullied. I was bullied in school. I was bullied in kindergarten all the way up through whatever. I was constantly bullied. And I was like, what if the things I said truly did detrimentally hurt the psyche of this person? What if they have really horrible security issues, right? Insecurity issues, self-love issues, because of shit that I did and said back when I was in 8th grade. Like, ignorant, spiritually ignorant, 14, 15-year-old Grace. I end up looking her up on Facebook. And I sent her a message. And I was like, listen, like, I don't expect you to respond or have any kind words for me. I just want you to know that I'm sorry for the things that I said back then. I didn't know who you were. I didn't know what kind of lasting impact my actions would have on you, and whoever you are and whatever you're doing with your life today. I hope you're happy and that you're living a beautiful life. Like, I'm sorry for any pain I caused you. And she actually responded and thanked me and said it meant a lot. Like, it doesn't matter how much time goes by. It doesn't matter how afraid you are to be received. She could have cussed me out. I would have accepted it. All right, she cussed me out. Obviously, the pain that I inflicted on her was that damaging that she still holds that much visceral energy for me all these years later. you know, but the apology plants the seed for light to happen. It just so happens that she was completely fine in her life. She had beautiful kids. She got married. I was so happy for her. Like, thank God. Sometimes you just have to do it. It's not about anything else than righting wrongs because it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. Don't leave someone hurt because you were spiritually ignorant at the time and didn't know better, and you weren't self-aware. You weren't healing yourself at the time. You were just being reactive and living out your default natal chart. Like, you didn't know better. You weren't self-aware. So this is about overriding the fear of judgment. Overriding the fear of critical judgment and righting wrongs. Because at the end of the day, that's why we're here. We're here to lift the soul and make it light so that we can transcend this very heavy, mundane realm. Right? Beyond the third dimension is the fourth and the fifth dimension. They are light dimensions. They're not weighed down by the shit that we do here as humans. Right? We're elevating ourselves. So if you know, and me just talking about this story prompts you to remember certain people, maybe the charms did, right? Maybe the charms tied in with this message prompt a certain person you realize that you haven't thought about in forever, and you probably owe them an apology. Then I hope that by the time you sign off this message that you do that, because you'll really appreciate the improvement to your own energy. You'll be able to move forward. You'll be able to feel lighter. The lighter you feel, the better your manifestation is. We can't manifest beautiful, abundant, wonderful shit with heavy energy. And God knows if we do, it's because Spirit's going to whip it up and take it, right? Rug pulled. Why do you think people are afraid of getting what they want? Because they're afraid they're going to lose it. It's because they have things in their energy they have to correct, that on some level they don't feel deserving of blessings because they took it from other people. Energetically speaking, they took the good feeling from other people. You want to receive beautiful experience from the divine. Start creating beautiful experience where there was once broken experience. Fix it. Fix it. It's within your power to do that. And understand, my cup gave me a wonderful reminder. There is a difference between saying something that hurts somebody because they hurt you and you're hurting them back, and being really fucking truthful, really fucking honest. Like ripping open a new one because they need to see themselves and no one else is fucking saying it, and being honest. This isn't about calling someone a fucking asshole or calling someone a fucking bitch or whatever. This is about you have taken actions that were extremely detrimental. Your actions hurt people. Like if you're telling an addict that they need to quit being an addict and they need to go to rehab because their behavior, they're stealing from people, they're hurting people. If it's fucking true, it's fucking true. There's a difference between being malicious and being fucking honest. You don't need to regret being honest. Don't ever be afraid to cut a bitch, okay? But don't cut people that didn't bleed on you. Especially if they knew better, right? If they fucking knew better, some people cheat, they know they're fucking cheating. You can call them a cheating motherfucker and be out. Fuck you. Yes, the fuck you can. You ain't got to feel bad for calling a narcissistic, using piece of shit person for what they are. You don't fucking deserve me. No, they don't. Especially if you're not that way. Right? Let's not get confused. You just because you said things mean to someone doesn't mean they weren't fucking true. If you call a narcissist a fucking asshole or a fucking bitch and you're using the shit out of me, go fuck yourself. Well, it's fucking true. And they can go fuck themselves. They don't need a place in your life. Right? But if someone says some shit to hurt you and you know they're saying some shit to hurt you because they're hurt and you hurt them back, well, two wrongs don't make a right. My ex could call me all kinds of shit and not once did I pop off at him. Not once. Given he was being a fucking asshole, and the one time I called him being a fucking asshole, I was like, that's it, and I gotta walk away because he was pushing me to a point that I was gonna start getting nasty. And I'm not a nasty person. That's not who I choose to be, right? You choose who you are. I could have gone full-blown Cancer moon, Cancer rising, and completely ripped him a new fucking asshole, but it wouldn't have solved the problem because he was unwilling to fucking hear or heal. I love you too. I love you too. Oh. Yeah, well, now that you're a Divine Rebel, Shaylee, you can actually go back. There's playlists on the channel, and there's a few of them just for Divine Rebel members, and it includes all of the zodiac readings and things like that. Like, I have them all organized, which I'm sure your Virgo rising will truly appreciate. But yeah, sometimes it takes a while for the actual members to load up on their perks feed. And you can always just go to the playlist. I put them all in there for you. But yeah, this energy, guys, like, please, if you don't regret what the fuck you said, like, I even had conversations with my son because I've ripped people a fucking new one in messages. Because to be completely fair, I'm better when I type. I will say what I mean and mean what I say. If I take the time to fucking type you something, honestly, it's probably because I typed it, reread it, rewrote it, typed it, retyped it, reread it, rewrote it like 5, 6, 10, 12 times to make sure I got across the point that I wanted to get meticulously because I'm a Virgo IC line. I am a Saturn, Mercury conjunct in Sag. It's conjunct my Venus in Scorpio. If I'm going to cut some truth, and it's going to be fucking painful, it's going to be legit. Because if I misspoke, it comes back to bite me later. I have ripped people in text, and my son was like, I don't know. This one was kind of harsh. And I was like, reread it to me. Because now it had been months. I don't even remember everything I said. So he rereads it to me, and I'm like, no, I still stand by every single fucking word I typed. Every single one, I still stand by what I typed. No, it wasn't too harsh. It was honest. It was brutally honest, and they might not like that it was brutally honest, but somebody needed to fucking say it to them. Somebody needed to rip it wide open. So I did. Amen. And I left the situation that was no longer in my mirror, planted that seed, let it go. Let it go. Sometimes the best love you can give someone is truth with a capital T. And say the shit that nobody else has the fucking balls to say to them. Like he was a father. He has a wife and children, and his behavior and his lack of control was seriously hurting his children. And no one wanted to say anything to him because he's the father. He's the head of the house. He makes all the money. He's this, he's that. Everybody's dependent on him, and nobody wanted to fucking say it. Well, sorry, I don't freaking depend on you, and I see what it is, and if you're going to start coming at me and being out of line, guess what? You just opened the fucking door for me to spill truth, capital T, all over your fucking shit today. No regrets. No regrets. Sometimes you cannot be afraid. You cannot be afraid to just cut something open. Cut it open. Like, no, you can't just do that. You can't just behave this way and think it's okay and no one says shit to you. I crossed your path for a reason. I crossed your path for a reason. And sometimes you have to remember that mentality yourself, right? We're talking about all 3 water signs came out on the dice roll pre-video, and all 3 air signs came out in the charms. Like, sometimes you really got to think about the higher perspective of what you're saying, right? Aquarian energy, thinking about the higher perspective, that like attracts like. Their vibration attracted that truth for a reason, because spirit is constantly trying to bring things to balance, Libra, and the reality is what it is. Face value facts, Gemini. You just got to fucking say it. You got to feel it. You got to know it's the right thing to say. You got to bring it up from the depths, right? Cancer, Scorpio, and let the fucking soul heal. Pisces. Bring up what they're afraid to acknowledge. Be that mirror. Be that mirror. You can't bury this facet of yourself. You can't bury this truth and pretend it ain't there. You can't do it. The divine won't let you. That's why I crossed your path and brought it up. God, spirit, source, creator, universe, whatever the fuck you want to call it, loves you. It doesn't want your soul heavy at the end of this life. It wants you to heal so that you don't have to fucking come back here. So that you don't have to come back here. Go on to the next life cycle dimensions. Go on to the next realm. Go be light. Don't even come back to this heavy shit. Go be light. Go be light. All of the fucking rants that I'm going to have to timestamp on this video. I fucking love y'all. All right, let's get into clarifying these cards. I want a different deck, Spirit. Oh, really? This is going to be interesting. Y'all might not know what garbage pail kids are. And if you don't, just Google them because they're fucking gross. But I was guided to buy and purchase a Garbage Pail Kids tarot deck. And we're going to get into the ugly and gross. We're about to get into the ugly and gross, right? We've got this moving forward. We've got this combative 5 of Swords energy with the Chariot and the 7 of Swords. How we start conflicts and move forward and don't get closure or give closure or rectify things or reconcile wounds, right? We just think we can move forward and it doesn't matter. They don't matter. It does matter. You've convinced yourself that they don't matter or they don't care about you or that you don't care about them. But y'all do. In soul, y'all do. Y'all cross each other for a reason. And so thinking you could just move forward and forget about it, that's not the answer. You don't just move forward and forget about it and sweep it under the rug, right? I had done a live and I had a whole conversation about the divine being like Virgo. And if you sweep your shit, right? This is sweeping the shit under the rug. Oh, I fucked up. I made a mess. I'm just going to sweep it under the rug. If the divine is Virgo and you swept it under the rug and then stood on the rug like, I didn't make a mess, divine. I promise. Everything looks clean. Everything is perfect. Spirit went whoop and pulled the rug out from under you and said, there's your dirt. There's your dirt. And the universe tower moments everything and cleans it all up. Karma's a bitch. You can't just sweep it under the rug. Okay? You can't just sweep it under the rug. So we're about to expose the gross energy. Okay? With this deck. Have fun with the images, guys. Have fun with them. They're totally gross. Some of these are totally gross. I'm just giving you a heads up. They're like Cabbage Patch Kids, but they're Garbage Pail Kids, okay? They used to sell Garbage Pail Kid cards, like actual cards, like collector's items that are all pretty much retired now. They're worth a lot of money. Collectors are worth a lot of money in mint condition. Yeah, Garbage Pail Kids. All right. Spirit Insight. Oh, this deck is by Maran Kim and Minerva Seagal. And Minerva's who is Minerva? It's one of the major goddesses. Now I'm more familiar with like Hera, Artemis, Athena, but Minerva is one of those 3. I'll have to look. See, now I got to look it up because that name caught my eye and now I got to be certain because Minerva is Roman, not Greek. I'm more familiar with my Greek. Yes, Athena. Yes, Athena. Okay, I knew it was one of those 3. Minerva is Athena. So Athena, right, if you want to talk about Pallas Athena in astrology, she's your defense system because she is a goddess of justice, balance, wisdom, and war. And like Mars, right, being a god of war, Mars or Aries is an aggressor. Mars will start the war, but Pallas Athena is defensive. She's not going to make the first strike, but she will defend and win the war, right? So getting into Pallas energy, it is your defense system. It is feminine wisdom and how to truly battle energies that would come at you in their shadow and hit them with light, right? Like me, I'm a Pallas Athena rising. I have Pallas on my ascendant in Cancer. You know, so it's been a journey getting into that energy, just trusting my psychic intuition, right, with Cancerian energy being on my rise with that. But that's my defense system, right? My red flags go off and I got to trust it 100% because it contributes to my rise. So Pallas Athena is your defense system. How and where it falls into your chart is crucial for you to understand, because it'll help you combat energies that are literally trying to take you down or at war with you because they're at war with themselves and they're projecting it at you, right? If you want to know what Pallas Athena's symbol looks like in your chart, it looks like Venus, right? How Venus has the circle with the cross underneath, only instead of a circle, it's a diamond. All right, that's Pallas Athena's symbol. So insights, please, with this 5 of Swords, Chariot, 7 of Swords, energy. What do we need to know, please, Spirit? What insight? Let's get specific into this energy. We got the 5 of Cups. So we got it twice now. We've got the Fool. We've got the 10 of Cups with the Knight of Swords and the Queen of Swords. We've got her out twice now. All right, clarities, please. 10 of Cups cards is funny. They're farting rainbows. Clarify the 5 of Cups. Clarify the 5 of Cups. We got the Knight of Cups. Clarify the Fool. What is that card? King of Cups. Clarify the Fool. Clarify the Fool. Spirit, give it to me. Don't play. Death and the King of Wands. Do I need further clarification? Yes, I do. On the 10 of Cups with the Knight of Swords and Queen of Swords. The World reversed. 8 of Coins on bottom. 5 of Coins on top. What was on the top and bottom of this deck? The Star on bottom. Healing's required. With the World, okay? With the World. So listen. Healing is required to close chapters and close cycles, okay? 2 major arcana there. That's the whole point. The masculine energy of the self, the yang, our shot calling, choice making, willpower, and determined fire part of the self wants to heal and close cycles. The feminine energy knows intuitively the cycle ain't closed. Over here, farting rainbows, talking about, you know, or thinking about or feeling that you're better off with someone and you're communicating shit that honestly is probably humbling yourself. You know, sometimes we communicate things in our righteousness that come off really egotistical. And sometimes we really do need to humble people, okay? Because the cycle's not closed until we humble them. Like if we're sitting over here farting rainbows and we're all love and light and we don't want to rip truth, right? I just went on a whole fucking spiel about the difference between being malicious and being fucking real, being honest. Sometimes we're literally farting out our ass thinking we're better than other people and end up getting humbled because it weighs heavy on us later. I don't know, maybe I said it too harshly. Like, this is why I said I will reread and rewrite and rewrite and rewrite and rewrite until I got it just right, because I ain't going to regret a damn thing I say. I don't care if I said it today and reread it 10 years from now, I will mean everything I said. Because if you're going to say shit and cut a bitch and then have regrets later, then you probably could have, should have, would have said it better. If you got no regrets, and every time you think back on it, you still have no regrets, then you spoke truth with a capital T correct. Straight up. If you have a feeling, right, and it's literally 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 11 seconds on the clock. If you've got one thing that you could have said better, or one thing you should have fucking said and didn't, what the fuck do you care? If you message somebody out of the fucking blue and say, you know what? I never got the chance to say this to you. You know what? I didn't express to you back then how much your actions really fucking hurt me. And I didn't deserve that shit. And I don't give a fuck what you say in response. You can respond, not respond. It doesn't matter, because chances are I'm probably going to block you by the time I'm done answering, because I don't give a fuck what you got to say. All that matters is what I got to say. For me. I'm going to stand up for myself now because I didn't then. I'm going to stand up for myself now because I didn't then. I was afraid before. I was upset before. I was fragile before. And I found my fucking strength now. I know my value now. And there's no way I'm going to look back at hindsight and regret the fact that I never fucking put you in your place and told you that you were out of line and you lost a good fucking thing. And you're never going to find another me, because to be fair, if you intuitively fucking know it and they blew it and you're the love of their life and they fucking blew it, well, let the truth be what it is. Let the truth be what it is. I loved you more than anybody else, and you did this and that, and you were out of line. I don't wish you ill, but I know whatever ill you manifest in your life, you done did it to yourself. You done did it to yourself. Yeah. Yeah. 100%, Lori. 100%. We got to be accountable. We got to be accountable. This is about taking a leap of faith on transforming, being a master of manifestation and willpower. This is about mastering King of Wands energy. Sometimes you got to breathe fire. Sometimes you got to take a leap of faith and breathe fire. With certain people, you got to breathe fire. And with other people, you really do have to go back, right? 5 of Cups, have regret. Go back across the bridge, right? Go back and express kindness. The Knight of Cups is sincere. It's emotional. It is taking accountability for the self. I could have done this better. This is exactly just confirming what we've been talking about. Because either you owe positive words to another because you weren't in a positive place, or you are in a place where you need to give yourself some positivity and stand up for yourself and say things that needed to be fucking said so that you don't go back in hindsight in your life and say, I wish I would have said whatever. Stand up for yourself. Breathe fire. Because it was unjust if someone was treating you unjustly, period. It wasn't right. At some point in my life, I wrote my father a 5-page letter. My mother and my father. Wrote him a 5-page letter. And laid it out. Laid it out. The 8 of Coins is Virgoian energy. It's due diligence because we abandon the self, right? 5 of Coins. We abandon the self and feel left out in the cold like the divine spirit, God, source, creator doesn't fucking love us. We feel like we're hopeless, helpless, and needy when we're not. We just haven't taken the steps to help ourselves. We didn't put in the work. We want spirit to forgive us because we're not perfect. And spirit with a capital S is just ourself. We haven't forgiven ourselves because we didn't make the corrections needed to be corrected. Whether it's ripping someone a new one or closing up a wound you ripped open and shouldn't have. The step wasn't taken. The universe didn't abandon you. God, source, creator, spirit didn't abandon you. You're loved by spirit. Where along the line did you stop loving yourself and stopped righting your wrongs? Where along the line did you think that healing was not important? That you gypped your own energy and robbed yourself? Oh, me and you got in a huge fight and I'm not going to say anything. We're just going to pretend it didn't happen. Sweep it under the rug. Spirit said, no. No, that is not how we do things. We don't fucking make a mess and not clean it up. No, we don't do that. You cannot sit here like a big kid and make a mess and not clean up your mess. Mommy spirit or daddy spirit isn't going to clean up your mess. You made a mess, you clean it. It's your life. It's like, it's no different than your parents saying, if it's your room, you clean it. Clean your room. I'm not going to clean your room. You got to clean your room. Your room is a mess. Spirit's no different. Your life is a mess. Go clean it up. It's not my responsibility to clean it up. It's your responsibility to clean it up. Clean up your mess. Spirit said, I didn't dirty the dish. You did. Go clean your dish. Be grown and clean your shit. You used it. You made a mess. Clean it. Put it back. Don't leave it for someone else to clean up. Don't say, oh, I damaged this person. I was fucked up to this person. I'm just going to walk away and forget about it and leave that damage on somebody so someone else has to clean it up. That's that empath narcissist cycle we get fucking trapped in. You just hurt a good person, or you were hurt by an asshole person, and now you got to clean up your own self because you damn chose to be around that person. Like, we got to take ownership for our shit. Say what needs to be said. Good, bad, indifferent, beautiful or ugly, it doesn't matter. Don't be fucking scared about how you're going to be perceived. So what if that narcissistic piece of shit says, oh, you're just crazy. You're just crazy. No, bitch, you're crazy. No, you're crazy. You blew it with a good person. You're crazy. Don't tell me I'm fucking crazy. Narcissists will always tell you you're crazy. Doesn't mean you are. It means they're a narcissist and they don't want to own their shit. Their opinion don't fucking matter. Your opinion of you matters. If you need to stand up for yourself, stand up for yourself. It doesn't matter what the fuck your narcissist says. You want to rip, rip. Rip. Someone's got to fucking rip. Hopefully, if enough people fucking rip, maybe they'll get the memo. They're the problem, not other people. Right? But if no one's ripping and everybody's afraid and the narcissist is causing damage and I'm afraid they're going to reach out to me and say things that hurt my feelings. Nothing they fucking say matters. If everybody's like that and no one's ripping them a new one, they're not fucking learning anything. Leaving a narcissist is not enough. You gotta rip. You gotta breathe fire. Close the cycle. Close the cycle. Tell yourself in this life and every other life, in this realm and every other realm, you will never connect to that energy again in them or anybody else. That level, you recognize it for what it is. You are never going back to attracting that energy and welcoming it in your life ever. Not in them or anybody else. Someone starts shooting off red flags, narcissistic red flags. Yep, I'm done, out. Thank you. Peace be with you. Not interested. Not interested. Wish you nothing but the best. I hope you heal. You're not in my life. I ain't your fucking healer. You'll figure it out. Go start praying. Go pray. Go pray. Find your light. Go find your light. People need a fucking reality check sometimes. God knows I give them here on the channel all the fucking time. Spirit loves y'all. That's why y'all find me. Spirit loves you. You know, what the fuck? We got these messages for a reason. There is no better time than the present. No better time than the present than to just let yourself heal. You only get this lifetime once. You have to reincarnate here. You're going to have to find my messages all over again. And that's after going through all kinds of childhood wounding. Like, it's not, you're here now. You're aware now. You're more aware now than you've ever been in your life. Do it justice, right? Do it justice. What guidance card, please, Spirit? We're going to do this one. And yeah, we're going to do that one. All right. So we're using Intuitive Life Coaching Oracle by Kelly T. Smith. And Journey of Love by Alana Fairchild. All right. Let's see. Spirit, please. What guidance would you have come through? For those who need it and make it this far in the message, or timestamp, hop, skip, jump over here. What guidance would you have for those who catch it with this message? Wishful thinking. You are learning how to manifest the life that you desire. 6, 3, right? 63. 6 is the number of unconditional love. 3 is the number of ascension to create a 9, which is the closing of a cycle. Unconditional love to ascend in order to close cycles. You are learning how to manifest the life that you desire. We were talking about that, right? How do you manifest your best life from your best energy if your energy is heavy with things that you can't sweep under the rug, right? You have to address it, correct it to the best of your ability, and move forward, knowing that you did the absolute best you could and that you have no regrets. There's nothing you feel you could have done or said better knowing that you can't change the past. You can only do your best to right the wrong, right? You can only do your best to become self-aware and correct things, because who you were then is not how you would have handled it with who you are and who you want to become now. So wishful thinking, it says, wishful thinking is not the same as manifesting that which you desire, but it does mean that you are on the right track. Continue to use your imagination to inspire you and to let all of your dreams unfold. Just don't get wishful thinking confused with the law of attraction. The difference between wishful thinking and manifestation is this. Wishful thinking uses words such as I hope, maybe someday, and I can't wait until. If this is what you are doing, it's a good start, but this card has arrived to tell you that you are going to have to match the frequency of already having what you desire before you can actually experience it. Take the time to imagine that your desire is already a reality. That is the key. Feel the satisfaction of knowing your greatest desire is here now in this moment and not out there in the future somewhere. Indeed, you can have what you are asking for. And through this card, your guides and angels want you to remember that they're here to help you bring this desire into your life experience. Do what's necessary to help you feel that your desire is already done, already a reality. In all honesty, it was done the moment you thought of it. Now you just have to believe it, align with it, and you will manifest it. The intuitive life coaching questions, it says, what are you wishfully thinking about? What are you hoping will happen? What would it feel like if this desire had already manifested for you? Can you imagine this feeling, the satisfaction and joy of abundance? Well, if you need to align with the energy, right? If you have a beautiful, joy-filled, I would cry gratitude tears vision that you're wishfully thinking for, I hope, maybe someday, I can't wait until, and you picture it in your mind, and it's the most beautiful feeling that you feel, it's light. Your energy needs to match that to manifest it. That already exists. And it might not be, right, law of attraction, the exact thing, but the feeling is exactly the same. If you want to feel joy, if you want to feel extreme gratitude, if you want to feel at peace, if you want to feel safe and secure, and ultimately that vision is bringing those feelings. Even if the vision or the scenery of the vision changes, the feelings is what we want to stay the same. We want to feel that way. We visualize things that we visualize because we want to feel a certain way. The only way to feel that way, to align with that energy and allow that energy to manifest in the outer, is if you create it within first. And the only way for the outer to reflect what's going on inside and have it be that light is to reconcile the wrongs you've committed against yourself and other people. Reconcile the wrongs you've committed against yourself. If you've hurt others and you owe them apology, you owe them kindness, you owe them gratitude, you owe them whatever, give it. Reconcile that heaviness within yourself to the best of your ability and make it light. And if you owe yourself light in the form of self-defense and standing up for the self and standing up for your worth and standing up for your value, and it makes a difference to you, then you do it. Be really grateful for yourself that you stood up for yourself. Be really grateful that you found your value. Find joy in release. Because when you find joy and allow yourself to feel it, and you find gratitude for experience because you found yourself in the process, you've healed in the process. Like, don't get me wrong. I've met some fucking horrid people in my life. But damn if knowing them didn't help me find my own strength and my value. I am truly grateful for their horridness. Because if they weren't horrible like that, I wouldn't have found my fucking strength. I wouldn't have realized my worth. I would have kept tolerating people like them and attracting people like them. I finally woke up to who I am. We relive trauma because trauma is familiar. We relive our wounding because the wounding is familiar, but that doesn't make it normal. It doesn't make it acceptable. It doesn't make it tolerable. It doesn't make it enjoyable. Just because it's familiar. If what we want feels beautiful, then we have to allow ourselves to choose that with our actions and our choices. That's our character. That's who we're deciding to be today, despite who we were yesterday. And say, okay, this is who I am now. Like, you want to get real. I had been smoking weed from the time I was 16 all the way up until I was 35. That's a lot of years being a smoker. But my son was coming home, and I knew I didn't want to smoke around him. I knew he didn't like it. My son was worth more than that. I quit. I've been sober since. I don't smoke weed anymore. I'm straight edge of shit. Unless you want to count the cup of coffee I have in the morning and caffeine. That's it. I drink water and juice. I don't use my e-cig anymore. I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't take over the counter whatever. Or illegal whatever. I'm straight edge. My best version comes out of that. I don't even have any desire to do any of that shit no more. People could have it right in front of me, use it right in front of me, offer it. It doesn't, I have no interest in doing any of that shit. You have permission to live your best life and be your best person. Who you were yesterday is not who you were today. Who you were today, even if it's better than who you were yesterday, you can be a better version of yourself again tomorrow. You can improve a little bit every day. Like, even if you just inched forward every single day, like, a little bit of progress is better than none. You don't have to go full blown fucking whole new whatever overnight, but you can accept that at some point you're going to start letting certain things go, certain aspects of the self go, and you're going to start treating yourself better, treating people that you love better, that love you better, right? And just be a better person. It's called recovery. We're addicted to pain. We're addicted to trauma. And at some point, we got to kick the habit. Got to kick the habit. If you want to align with the things you wish about and hope for, well, you got to start making the energetic corrections on the internal, right? You've got to start doing that internally. Otherwise, you'll always be wishing and hoping. Maybe one day. No. You decide. You decide with your own energy. If you got some letters to write, some messages to send, some people to look up on Facebook, because whatever, well, get to it. Get to it. Get to it. Start cleaning up the dirt. Lift up the rug so spirit doesn't have to. And clean it up. And clean up your mess. Okay? What else? Final guidance messages. What else? It'll take me just a little while to get some timestamps in the comments for you guys, but I will have them in there. Once it's over, I'll do that. Okay. What card above all others, please, Spirit? Those who would need it with this message. Whenever they catch it. We got 2. Acceptance and soft. Cards 55 and 47. Breaking down to a 10 and an 11. All right. Acceptance. It says, you have offered yourself, asked to be of service to the greater good, created something that you want to contribute towards the healing of our world, and your offer has been gratefully accepted by the divine. Know this and be at peace. This oracle brings you a message. You are completely received, accepted by the divine as you are. There is nothing of your light to change. Just be you. You have made an offering of a prayer, a sacrifice of an attachment, and a giving of a desire to be of service and to make a contribution to the world, and your offer is joyfully being transformed to the seeds of how this can best be. Your next step is about to begin. And then there's a poem, and it says, shall we find some sunshine amongst the cloudy days, a gentle touch that softly warms and leads us on our way, past stately oaks and candles glow and places we've never been, a friend to share the memories before it's home again. We offered ourselves to be of greater service here. And as we uncover ourselves to the point that there is nothing to be changed, that we can truly accept ourselves, right? Because all of this is self-acceptance. We can't accept ourselves if we're not good enough. In our own soul's eyes, like sweeping stuff under the rug is not good enough. Just because we moved the dirt, we didn't get rid of it though. It's not good enough, right? This is about finding self-acceptance and being a version of ourselves that we can truly love, that we don't want to change because it's that good. Who we are doesn't cause regret. Who we are doesn't cause or inflict pain. Accepting the self and our role here as the ripple, right? As the ripple that our being in our highest light makes a difference in the world, makes a difference in everybody's life that we touch. It's so important. It's so important to understand exactly this, that we've accepted our role, and the divine accepts us, right? The divine within ourselves accepts who we are. The alchemists, right? Card 47. And it's on page 111. Too cool, Spirit. It says, a sanctuary bathed in soft light. Your heart is receptive, inviting and gentle. It brings strength to the weary, comfort to the lonely, and healing to the wounded. It is a magnet for all that is needed for you, your beloveds, and your world. Don't imagine you must always be the fighter, going against the part of your nature that longs for harmony and peace. This is your time to be soft, to surrender, to let the subtle waves of your heart invite love in, and to receive. In doing so, you will give so much. This oracle brings you a message of peace. Surrender now and be soft, even just for this moment of quiet reflection. You have perhaps been working too hard at growing and living. Take some moments to replenish and allow the divine to help you, dear one. Be soft so you are receptive to the divine. It is when we let go that we truly perceive the obstacles that lie between us and oneness with the divine love. Let go and perceive that the divine love is already awakening in your heart. Know that you are worthy, and keep a light of gentle hope and respect kindling in your heart as you anticipate the union with your beloved. Know that even when it's dark, when it challenges you, there is sacredness unfolding. And then the poem. It says, you are the softness the divine desires. You help light its way. You nurture all that it holds dear, though tempest clouds dismay. And in the quiet of the storm, gentleness comes through, and in the shelter of its arms, its heart is there for you. It's okay to be soft. It's okay to take a minute and breathe. It's okay to stop fighting yourself and your wounds and the beliefs and the behaviors that you were taught that are acceptable or not acceptable, and trying to make ill behavior acceptable by doing it yourself. Like, some people unfortunately do that. They were mistreated. They don't understand why they were mistreated. And so they mistreat people to make it okay, because they know in their soul it's not okay. And if they do it, maybe they'll understand why it was okay. People take wounds and project them out differently. If someone is mistreating you or projecting mistreatment, it's because they were taught it was acceptable by someone, even if it wasn't. Why do children who have alcoholic parents, who were hurt by their parents' alcoholism, drink? Witnessing your parents' alcoholism was painful. Witnessing the upheaval that happened when they were drinking was painful. And it hurt you. And to make it acceptable, you're doing it. This is the chance. This is the universe saying, accept the best version of yourself and be soft. Surrender your wounds. Stop fighting. The people that love you make mistakes. Adults, now as adults, we know we are not perfect. And if we go back and be our child self, and how we idolized our parents and thought they had all the answers, and we wanted to be just like them because they knew how to live life. Like, we realize now in hindsight just how many answers they didn't fucking have. And they were just dealing with all the stresses and all the wounds that were given to them, no different than we are. If it hurt, it's not acceptable. If it hurt to witness, if it hurt to experience, it's not acceptable. And now is the time where you don't accept it or tolerate it anymore, because it's not acceptable. Right? We don't need someone to tell us that alcoholism hurts children. We don't need someone to tell us that being a drug addict hurts people. We don't need someone to tell us that someone who has a gambling addiction and is spending all their fucking money and their family into a hole, that it's painful. It hurts. When a parent has an addiction, whether it's gambling or drinking or smoking or other drugs and substances or porn and sexual shit, and it's causing chaos in the home, like, we don't need someone to tell us that's not acceptable. It causes pain. It's not acceptable. That was not the answer. And whatever that person, that parent or whoever was running from, give them prayers, because they didn't do the healing work that you are pursuing right now. Give yourself a whole lot of credit for being present for yourself, for even sitting here to receive messages like this, because a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. I'm going to pull some more charms. I'm going to pull some more charms just in case y'all need a final reminder or a ping as to who you are meant to, reconcile a fault with, right? Somewhere along the way, a mess was made, right? Whatever comes out of pineapple charming. Spirit, what is in the highest good to receive? Whoever needs this message. I mean, given, if you know the message has been for you and you already know who you need to reach out to, then you already know. This is to help you just in case you missed something, right? In case you missed a spot that needs cleaning. So let's see. We've got, This is someone, this is one of my mood charms. This is someone who puts on a happy face, a smile, knowing that their wounds are wreaking havoc for other people. They already know what they're doing. They're in denial. They'll smile like, I don't know what you're talking about, but they fucking do. That person needs to be called out. This is tennis. All right. Someone might be synchronistically connected to tennis or a memory concerning tennis. We've got broccoli. You might have someone you may have trauma surrounding broccoli. I'm not shitting you. Okay. And this need to be healthy with yourself. This can be an indicator that you might need to take your health and your diet into consideration. And maybe you've known that for a long time and you just haven't been doing it. So do right to yourself, because if you're having a hard time accepting yourself for being unhealthy, that it's constantly pinging in your mind, I should be healthy, and you're hard on yourself because you're not. This is your charm to say, hey, it really is that time for you to accept who you are. And if being unhealthy is unacceptable, then you really do need to be healthier, right? Especially when it comes to your diet. We've got palm trees. So you could be at a tropical location and or need a vacation or have a memory from a vacation at a tropical place that needs to be brought up and reconciled. We also have angel wings. These are rainbow wings. So, you could have someone who is LGBTQ plus, who has passed away, that you need to have a divine conversation with between you and them. And even if they're passed away, trust me, you can have that conversation. I'm a mediumship. They listen. Okay. They are always present. You might not be able to hear what the fuck they're saying in response, but they will hear what you're saying if you need to talk to them. Okay. Feel lighter. Feel lighter. We've also got 222. So you may be seeing this as a synchronicity, or February 22nd or the 22nd of the month might be significant for you. Something that happened in February, or someone who, that would be an Aquarius Pisces cusp. All right. I've also got a camera. So pictures may be significant if something is popping up in your memories on your feed, or if you're going through old photo albums, there might be things that need to come up. Looking at pictures, okay, there might be things that need to come up and be reconciled in your mind and forgiven, right? Make sure that you are forgiving people who didn't know how to better treat you or love you because they were dealing with their own wounding, right? Especially adults who truly in their own spiritual ignorance didn't know any better. They were not self-aware, right? They might have gone through their entire life unaware. And you're having to find forgiveness for people who hurt you because they didn't realize they were even doing it at the time, right? That the things that they were doing or saying had a long-lasting impact on who you are, right? So the camera, it may be significant for you in a completely different way. All right, take it as it resonates. We also have the winner. Could be somebody who has a gambling addiction, right? This is from my Las Vegas charm set. It could also be indicating someone who absolutely has the need to win, have the last word, whatever the case may be. Like, that's who they are. And it might be who you are, or a situation where you felt like you had to have the last word, right? So take it as it resonates. We've got the winner. Come on, Ken, you can do it. The winner. We've also got the Sun card. So Leo energy. They could also have a sun in Aquarius or a sun in Capricorn, because I have those two those two signs out here, Aquarius and Capricorn. I've got a ladybug. So again, something lucky. Maybe you might feel like you've dropped the ball on luck, or that you're unlucky, and maybe that's the belief system that has to change, right? Feeling like you're unlucky when really there's just things in your wounds that haven't been healed, right? Things that were swept under the rug, and it's causing negative manifestations because it is a negatively aligned vibration. And as soon as you clean it up, you're not unlucky anymore because you're manifesting from better energy, right? We also have a unicorn. So one-of-a-kind people are indicated with the unicorn. We have the letters A and the letter E. We also have a key. We have a key. We have a Christmas tree. So you may need to reconcile an incident that happened around the holiday. And we have cherries. So cherries may be significant. Maybe it's someone's favorite flavor. Maybe someone has cherry tattoos, right? Whatever the prompting for cherry is for you. And then we have the Joker, the Jack of Spades, and the Seven of Diamonds. Okay, so this is the Fool. Come on, camera. You can do it. It wants to. I know it does. Come on, camera, do it. Ah, these cards are so tiny. I'm going to have to figure out a way to showcase these things. They're so small. But the Seven of Diamonds is the Seven of Pentacles. The Jack of Spades is the Knight of Swords. And the Joker is the Fool. So this would be talking about why things failed. Taking a leap of faith on trying to understand why something failed. Because the Knight of Swords, which is the Jack of Spades, is about communication. And the Seven of Pentacles is why the reward wasn't reaped for all the effort that was put in. Trying to figure out what failed, right? You might need to talk to someone and say, why didn't it work out? Right? If you really have question marks and maybe had a hard time looking at yourself back then, maybe you could take a leap of faith on being open-minded and really letting someone speak to you, especially if you're like, listen, I'm really working on improving myself, and you don't owe me anything, and you don't have to talk to me about it. We don't have to rehash everything. I'm not trying to reconcile. I'm just trying to improve. What was it about me that was damaging to the relationship that you and I had, right? Whether it was a romantic dynamic, a friendship dynamic, a family dynamic, like why did it fall apart? There was so much love at one point. How did it fall apart? And being open to the feedback, right? Being open to the feedback and understanding that some of their projections in the mirror of things are things that they also need to work on, which is why y'all attracted each other in the relationship dynamic you did to begin with, because like attracts like. Whatever they have complaints about you over, they probably do it themselves in some which way, shape, or form, which is not the time to bring it up per se, unless you really feel like you could do it without triggering the shit out of someone. But yeah, be open to constructive criticism. Okay. If someone wants to pop off and be like, well, you were such a fucking bitch, and they don't want to be constructive and explain how you were being a bitch, well, you're going to have to ask them, okay, well, how was I being a bitch though? How? Because telling me I was being a bitch isn't going to help me change it. I need to know how I was being a bitch so that I'm not that way anymore, and I'm not doing those things, right? If I in fact feel like I could agree in hindsight. I feel like I need to get more letters. Let me see if I can get some more letters out of here. We've got A and E so far. We've also got a hurricane. This is my hurricane card. So sometimes people don't even know how they cause a fucking upheaval. And we've also got a deer, which is a reminder to be soft and gentle, right? Do not get defensive and harsh. But we've got the letter B, the letter Q. Could be your last name like Quigley, or you get Quinton or something like that. We've got a Y, R, 2 I's, and we've got Capricorn and Aquarius again. We also got Taurus and Pisces. Okay. So A, I, R, E, I, Q, B, Y. I could spell Ray. I could spell Bay. Let's see what else. Maybe y'all have a memory with fucking ribs. Because I can spell that word. Let's see. I got a lot of vowels here. So maybe someone's name is just vowel heavy in general. Yeah. All right. So those are the charms. Just in case you needed a reminder. All right. Take the hurricane, how it resonates. Because I have a tornado in here too. This is my hurricane one. But it's when emotions get all swirled up in things that are being communicated and shock takes over, right? Shock takes over because you could see the face on this hurricane is shocked, right? Mouth open, shocked. And it's like out of nowhere, your emotions get swirled up by something that was said or a choice that was made, and needing to go back because hurricanes create a lot of damage, do they not? When our emotions get pulled up out of nowhere because, you know, someone starts, you know, heating up what we feel beneath the surface. Sometimes things come up that we're not anticipating, right? Sometimes we get triggered by people and we're not even aware that trigger was there until they hit that nerve, right? And then we start creating a not so great experience because we didn't even realize that trigger was there to begin with. And that's okay. Like, you can go back in hindsight and have a conversation with someone like, listen, I apologize. I was really caught off guard at the time. I was triggered. I had to figure out where that trigger came from because I know that you weren't the one that set the trigger. You were the one that set it off, but you didn't set the actual trigger. And I had to do some soul searching and figure out why I was so reactive to what you said and did and reconcile it with myself. So, you know, if you owe apology or whatever, because something didn't work out, right? Something didn't work out and you want to know why, be open, right? Remember to be soft and gentle and to be in your light. All right. Much love and light to all of you. Thank you for all of you who left comments in the live chat. Thank you for everybody who dropped likes and who stopped into view. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And I will see you next time. Bye.